Saturday is drawing to a close, but one race remains, MotoE's second encounter. An intense 2025 season is 3 races in, and this afternoon's earlier battle was denied a grandstand finish. But that is why we go again. 7 laps, race 2, MotoE at Assen. It's going to be a belter. The heavens haven't opened just yet as MotoE's race 2 readies for action. A battle that promised a lot in race 1 was robbed as pole sitter and then championship leader Mattia Casadei fell off on the final lap, handing victory to hard-charging and Mr. Charisma, Andrea Mantovani. But race 2 beckons and a whole new ball game awaits. Can we get a 4th different winner in as many races? Kiko Giles and Neil Morrison taking you through the thrills and spills, and I can tell you there's been one already. Mattia Casadei's Saturday at Assen goes from bad to worse, Neil. He's crashed on the sighting lap.
Goodness me, I mean, this was the rider that qualified on pole position. He led every single lap bar the last one in race 1 before decking it at turn 5. And when he did crash, he crashed under yellow flags, which means he's got a double long lap penalty to serve in this one. Now he's just gone out. He's decked it again, Kiko.
Well, this is what's happened. He's just run on and he's fallen over in sympathy. He hasn't been able to get to turn 5 this time around. Mattia Casadei, well, he's going through the long lap, you see, because he's got the double long lap. He's trying to see what the conditions are like out there, and he's tumbled over.
Well, it could have been a lot worse, I guess, for the number 40, but certainly not ideal ideal preparation for this race. Casadei, it's been a nightmare of a Saturday so far here in the Netherlands.
Oh, it's an unbelievable start to then this race 2. Double long lap penalty on your screen. Not respecting the yellow flag during race 1 is the official wording. And Mattia Casadei, well, now he's really got a real problem. He's crashed. It looks like he's fine. He's going to have cleaned up the tyres, of course, and get to the grid. But that doesn't really come into it. It's just his confidence is going to be knocked. Neil, talk us through this.
Yeah, so this is race 1. You can see there the yellow flags at turn 5. This was on the last lap where Casadei was trying to defend his lead from Andrea Mantovani, who was just behind. He tucked the front, he crashed. You can see the marshals are still making their way out of the gravel trap. And under current regulations, it is completely understandable that that is warranting a long lap penalty. In fact, 2 long lap penalties, which he will have to serve in this race. You have to say, Kiko, over 7 laps, that is really going to limit his chances.
I tell you what, he's lucky he did this on this sighting lap, on his reconnaissance lap, because if he'd done that in the race, well, he'd have carried on the long lap over because he wouldn't have been able to serve it, of course. So Mattia Casadei in all kinds of problems. He does go from the front of this grid, though still, of course, he qualifying times of what sets this grid. And, well, big drama already. Mattia Casadei, now he needs to stay composed, he needs to stay cool, and hopefully the bike is fine. It looks all right from what we've been able to see so far, Neil.
Yeah, it does look A-OK. From what we can see, there's no real big scuffs. I mean, he didn't crash at high speed at all. He just fell over in the gravel, more or less. But I think it will be down to the highly experienced LCR crew now. Just maybe one of them will take Mattia to one side and just say, right, take a deep breath, breathe in, ready to go in 6 minutes time. But yeah, far from ideal preparation for the former MotoE World Champion.
That's exactly what you say to me before we come on air. Calm down, take a deep breath, and then let's see, he's ready to go for lights out. We're
Still
down.
It doesn't work. Oh,
look, someone's doing some work. Elliot, you're on camera. Give us a wave and we can see who you're with.
Yeah, Andrea, great win earlier on today. You just came into the grid shaking your head. Is everything okay with the bike, and how are you feeling ahead of the race?
But now in the first laps, I have a problem in the front. Now resolved, and the feeling in the race 2 is fantastic. I will do the best, and I will do my race, and I'm very happy. And stay calm and corner by corner.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Should just say, of course, Elliot York is our pit lane reporter in MotoE. No wonder he looked a bit bamboozled down there on the grid, speaking to Andrea Mantovani. Mantovani there saying he's got to stay cool and calm. It'll be the only time he's been cool and calm this weekend. He is a effervescent character.
He most certainly is, although he did sound very cool when he was speaking to Elliot just there. Problem with the front of the bike on the sighting lap, so we could have not ideal situations for the top two on the grid here. Cassidy starting from pole, Mantovani starting from second. That really could open things up to Jordi Torres early on in this race. He'll be starting from the inside of the front row in third position. And it really was a bit of a two-way fight at the front, wasn't it, between Cassidy and Mantovani in race one, Kiko? And well, with one of them pretty much going to be out of the victory fight, you have to say Mantovani starts as favourite.
Jordi Torres in third place, so we're looking at this now and fancying his chances. He'll be aware of Cassidy's dramas already, might not be aware of Mantovani's front end field problems, but Jordi Torres, 4 wins in a class, he's looking to make it 5 and he goes from that front row.
Yeah, just as we go on board then with Cassidy, looks as though there have been a few little running repairs from the LCR technicians there. You can see they're just checking everything with the front brake, with the throttle, to make sure it's okay. I think Cassidy is also trying to explain exactly what happened down to one of the IRTA officials.
The IRTA officials as well will be down there because they need to make sure that everything is under control. Nicola Spinelli, 4th place on this grid, and 5th place we have got Matteo Ferrari, and then it's Alessandro Zacconi. Can he come through? Well, Matteo Cassidy, he's going to have to come through a double long lap, a fall on his sighting lap. Will he be able to convert pole this time? So we are ready to get underway. Matteo Cassidy under a load of pressure because he, of course, is on a ticking stopwatch in effect, because he needs to get that bike sorted out after binning it on the sighting lap. If you are just joining us here, bit of early drama. Matteo Cassidy, your pole sitter, your previous championship leader, crashing on the sighting lap when he left pit lane. Will they be able to get that bike verified and okayed from IRTA to go racing here in MotoE? You're joining myself, Kiko Giles, Neil Morrison alongside me, Elliot York down in pit lane, bringing the stories as we wait to go racing here. No warm-up lap, of course, in MotoE. We are just about 2 minutes until we go lights out on this one.
Yeah, we most certainly are. I think it looks as though Cassidy should be okay to get going. This is Matteo Ferrari starting from the middle of the second row. Ferrari was 5th in race 1, and at certain points was as fast as anyone on track. If he can keep it clean in the early laps, he could be a fixture up front. I do like the look, though, of Alessandro Zacconi after his fight back from 8th up until 2nd in race 1. I think I'm going to go potentially with him as my tip for this race, but we're going to hear quickly from Elliot in pit lane. He's got a bit of an update on the pole sitter.
Yeah, I was just trying to watch the bike closely and see if there's any real damage. There didn't look like any damage, and you saw on your screens they were just fiddling with a few parts down on the right-hand side peg, the foot peg, and on the sort of front forks and throttle side of the bike. So nothing too damaged, I don't think, but obviously far from ideal for Cassidy.
Yeah, he was going to need to really get himself more than the bike, I think, in a clear bit of headspace before we go out on this second race here for MotoE. He's going to need to stay calm, that is for sure. He really did bin race 1, it's got to be said, and he's copped a bit of an unfortunate penalty for that one. Back on the third row, Eric Granado leads off that. Lorenzo Baldassari goes from the middle of it, and then it is Kevin Zanoni, the number 21. This rider's teammate, Jordi Torres, the 81, further up the grid there in 3rd place. As we look back right the way through the pack, Raffaele Fusco there on the back of this grid. We just got another glimpse of Matteo Cassidy. You can see that the teams are filtering off now. We are less than a minute, less than 30 seconds really until we get this one underway. Neil, quickly, predictions.
Zacconi for me. How about you?
Oh, I feel a Mantovani double coming on, but as neutrals we don't have favourites, but we would like a 4th different winner of this season. We are ready then to go racing for the final time on Sprint Saturday here at MotoE. It's lights on and lights out. Cassidy from pole gets a good start. He's going to need a good start, and he's going to need an advantage too. Down towards turn 1, Mantovani 2nd, Spinelli slots into 3rd. Matteo Ferrari is trying to go around the outside there, but he comes through up into 5th place as they all filter through, and that looks like it is Alessandro Zacconi up there in 4th place. So at the moment, everyone through safely now. Hold your breath again. again. This is where Casadei was caught out earlier. We've seen incidents here right the way through the day. Turn 5 at Struben, but I think we are all safely through this time around. Casadei leads, and he has got the hammer down straight away.
He certainly has a much better start for Alessandro Zacconi, who's already up into third, although make that fourth. Look, Nicola Spinelli makes a brilliant move down into the Ruskin hook, fast right at the end of the Wienslang straight. So Zacconi demoted down to fourth, although he's back up into third. Nice early action here between the two Italian riders. You can see there Matteo Ferrari just behind, and Hector Garza has got a great jump from 10th on the grid. He's up to 6th.
I thought it was Garza who'd come through as the first of the Dynavolt bikes. Oh, that's going to get tight. Spinelli trying to come through on Zacconi. Can't quite get it done. He almost cost himself there as well. Ferrari's trying to get on the act, and there he is, Hector Garza, your number one, who follows through just ahead of Jordi Torres, who's gone backwards from the front row, P3 to P7 already on lap 1.
Yeah, I was just about to say that Torres had a nightmare start. He really hasn't managed to capitalise on some of the chaos that was happening ahead on the grid with the two riders. Torres back down in 7th. It looks like a tall order for him already, but look at this stuff from Mattia Casadei. He's pulled out 1 second on this lap already, and there is Torres laying one on Hector Garza into the Gert Timmer chicane. Garza has to sit it up, and Lorenzo Baldassari managed to come through.
Thread the eye of the needle, iron boulder, Lorenzo Baldassari then coming on through, and just about got ahead of Hector Garza, and I think Garza lost another place as well to Zanoni. So Garza yo-yoing up and down on this opening lap. We heard straight marks. Who is it who's gone down? It's someone from that lead group. There was a bit of a gap further back, I think, or was it Raffaele Fusco? It was. I thought it was someone in that lead group, but that might have been the incident over at the chicane with Garza that just split them all up. Well, Raffaele Fusco, that lasted long. Start of lap 2, he's down at turn 1.
Yeah, and Mattia Casadei has elected not to take his long lap penalty on this second lap. He's trying to build up as big a lead as is possible, which I think is pretty much the right tactic. You can see there Matteo Ferrari putting a nice move on Nicola Spinelli into the Ruskin hook right-hander to put him into 4th. So this is a good start for Ferrari.
Oh dear me, I'll guess a 658 team. It goes from bad to worse because it's Oki who's gone down. But surely they did not take each other out. Oh dear me, that is a disaster. I think we actually have an incorrect graphic because one of them is still up at the back of this shot. If you see, we look right at the back, I'm sure one of them is still going, but we'll pick that up later. It's rather irrelevant at the front of the field as we come through turn 11, and it's that short, sharp shoot down through turn 12, and that dip, you get a bit sideways coming through here, and Nicola Spinelli was up in 3rd, he's back to 5th, and now chasing Matteo Ferrari, who is really looking to get some major points on the board here in race 2, but he's going to have to deal with Nicola Spinelli, who's coming through up the inside, gets the job done, forces Ferrari across the chicane, and Ferrari is not going to be happy about that, and he isn't very happy about it, but he holds that 4th. Now, race direction will be looking at that because it was not a very obvious incident where anyone was necessarily at fault there.
Yeah, you would have to say Ferrari's going to have to give the penalty, or the position back, sorry, as we see Casadei taking the first of his 2 long lap penalties. They reckon it's going to take about 3 seconds for him to complete the first penalty, and you can see he's lost 4 positions. He slots back in to 5th, just behind Nicola Spinelli.
He's got to be careful not to go on the green in that long lap. He almost binged it again. He was backing it right in through the long lap. So now Casadei back to 5th. That puts Mantovani into the lead of this race.
Yeah, puts Mantovani in control, but you have to say Alessandro Zacconi looking very good. And look at this from Casadei, who's trying to make a pass on Spinelli. Brave stuff from the Italian. Just there, and here is it into the lead.
Zacconi up the inside at Steckenwald. Turn 8, good move on lap 3 of 7 there. So Zacconi has come through. Now Mantovani has another opponent to try and pick off. Talking of picking off, Casadei up to 4th, has got ahead of Spinelli. He's got the magnets out for Matteo Ferrari now to get back into the podium positions, but I remind you, he has 1 long lap still to serve.
Yeah, and I'm sure Ferrari, well, is a penalty going to come his way? He cut across the chicane and didn't give the position back. It looked as though that was a bit of a shortcut that he took. We're going to have to keep our eyes peeled on our timing screens to see if there will be something coming the way of Ferrari.
He'll say he jumped before he was pushed there. Track limits warning for Spinelli. That's the number 29 who's just in front of Lorenzo Baldassari. The 2 on your screen now as we drop into the GT chicane for the 4th time of asking, and through, there we go, sorry, the 3rd time of asking. It is Spinelli we're looking at right now with that track limits warning, but at the moment, I tell you what, Zacconi, fastest lap of the weekend, 39.599. That is very very strong indeed. Looking back at our reigning world champion, this is Hector Garza in 8th place, trying to get ahead of Jordi Torres. That's for a top 7. Casadei not taking his second long lap penalty this time around. He'll probably want to clear Ferrari, and he really wants to do it quickly. He squeezed on through there and takes position for turn 5. So good stuff from Casadei. Don't be surprised if he takes it next time around.
Yeah, really nice stuff from Casadei coming through turn 4 there. Cut that super tight on the inside of Matteo Ferrari. Really nice move from the number 40. And he has a job in his hands to try and build up a bit of a gap. Otherwise, he'll be rejoining at the back of this fight for 3rd. And you have to say it is a big old fight. There's 7 bikes there from 3rd all the way back to Eric Granado in 9th.
Granado just picking up a track limits warning as well. So the number 51, the fluorescent number 51 Brazilian rider, down in 9th place at the moment. But he is on a track limits warning at the moment. He hasn't got too many opportunities to run out wide now at all before he's given a long lap penalty. Casadei still with 1 long lap to serve. I remind you, he's at the head of this group. I reckon, Neil, if he takes next time around, he will stay in this group, but he'll just go to the back of it, down in 9th.
Yeah, and then he'll have to really get his elbows out in the closing laps of this race. Great to see Hector Garza looking a lot more like his old self in this race. He was very muted in race 1, in 9th position from 10th on the grid. Didn't really see him make any aggressive moves, but at least he is in the thick of this fight for the podium right now.
Coming through the chicane then, we are at half race distance. This time around they clock off another lap. Zacconi leads another fastest lap of the race, just a few thousandths better. That time around Mantovani 2nd, Casadei 3rd on the road, but he's got that long lap penalty to serve. That will put Ferrari, Spinelli, Garzo, Baldassarri all up into the mix. There's also Jordi Torres, Casadei in the long lap penalty loop. Now, where is he going to filter out? Don't go on that white line or the green. Mattia, he comes back through. It is 9th. He's not in the back of the group though. He's got a bit of time to make up. It's getting tight between Spinelli and Ferrari. Spinelli back into the podium places in 3rd.
Yeah, and after all of this, Baldassarri is now up into 5th and really sensing a chance to get a first MotoE podium in this race. You can see he has 2 Italians just up ahead of him, and Baldassarri with the green flashes on his leathers there, looking very good in 5th place.
He's looking very good for 4th place up in turn 8. Couldn't quite get it done that time around. I love Lorenzo Baldassarri. He just, everything he gets on, he really absolutely rides the wheels off it. Whether it's successful or whether it's a bit further downfield, it's to be discovered. But this is by far the best we've seen of Lorenzo Baldassarri in his rookie campaign. On the other rookies, just out of shot, looking down at 13th place, Luca Bernardi. Then it's Tibor Eric Varga in 14th place, the Hungarian rider. But inside the top 10, Jacopo Hosjuk having a good ride, the Romanian rider, number 12, up in the top 10. But back at the front, Mantovani's not letting this one go just yet. It is Zacconi who leads, and at this point in time would be just 13 points away from the title lead as we look into the chicane at Lorenzo Baldassarri. Did he make it? We wait. Oh, well, Matteo Ferrari didn't, and that's the 2nd time Matteo Ferrari has cut that chicane.
Yeah, it is, exactly. I'm not sure if he's allowed to do that, to be honest. I'm surprised that he hasn't been asked to drop a position already, Matteo Ferrari. But he did just take a bit of a shortcut across the chicane when Lorenzo Baldassarri was attempting to make a move by. So let's see what happens with regards to that. But Spinelli, that has given him a couple of tenths on Ferrari. And look at this from Mantovani. It was 0.6 of a second Zacconi's lead a couple of laps ago, but Mantovani has managed to stabilise that, and he's now starting to reel his compatriot in.
He is piling the pressure on now. He did this in Casadei earlier on today. If you haven't watched MotoE Race 1, please do check it out. It really was a good one. So keep an eye on Mantovani, your Race 1 winner, coming through turn 8. I tell you what, it's down to less than 3 tenths now, Neil. He's really piling on the coals on Alessandro Zacconi. Of course, there's a 10-point swing in this in the championship.
Yeah, there really is, and these are 2 names that will be featuring right towards the front of the championship after this race if things stay the way they are. All through race 1, Mantovani was so strong through these 2 right-handers, and then through Moivenmeer, the really fast right-hander that slingshots you on to the back straight here at Assen. Just here, Mantovani was super strong. You have to imagine he's going to be getting into the slipstream of Zacconi as they piled towards Ruskenhoek, this long left-hander, just before the GT chicane.
Through Ramsuk then for the penultimate time. The chicane awaits, but no move this time around for Andrea Mantovani. It's Alessandro Zacconi who will lead onto this final lap. Last lap time then, driver behind these 2. P3 for Nicholas Spinelli on the road. He's just been given a long lap penalty for exceeding track limits. So it's all going off in MotoE right now. And as you can see at the back of this group as well, Cassidy has launched back on to the back of Eric Granado in 8th place. Spinelli's been alerted. He's taken his long lap now.
Yeah, he has indeed. And Cassidy may well be able to grab a few positions here with Eric Granado and Hector Garzo, two riders coming back from injury on this final lap. But we want to really look up ahead. The gap was 0.3 of a second between Zacconi and Mantovani across the line. And let's see if Mantovani can manage to get a little bit closer with the aid of the slipstream here.
Through Ruskin Hook then, this is turn 6, taking a lot of inside curve that time around. Andrea Mantovani is really laying it all on the line here to try and make it a double at the Dutch GP for MotoE. Through turn 8, they'll charge down the hill now, and Alessandro Zacconi looking good at this stage, but this is where Andrea Mantovani comes into his own.
Yep, it most certainly is. It's these fast rights after the bolt to turn 9, left-hander, these two right-handers here, turns 10 and 11. And then the fast right onto the back straight where Mantovani really comes into his own. You can see Zacconi fully committed through that long right-hander.
He was a lot neater that time around Mantovani than Zacconi up front. Okay then, here we go then. Through 13, this is it. 14, I don't think Mantovani is quite close enough. We have got the last chicane to go here at Assen, but Mantovani, try as he might, is not going to overcome the 61. We have had Oscar Gutierrez, Mattia Cassidy, Andrea Mantovani, and now Alessandro Zacconi, your 4th winner of the season. And behind, Lorenzo Baldassarri, a super job, his first podium in MotoE in his rookie season. Matteo Ferrari, I think that was the 3rd time he's bounced across the chicane and not gone through it correctly. Jordi Torres 5th, Garzo on his comeback ride, the number 1, the reigning champion in 6th. Cassidy grabbing Granado on the last lap. Spinelli's long lap leaves him 9th, and Kevin Zanoni all the way down in 10th place. This is the final chicane, and yep, we were right.
Yep, you called that absolutely right, Kiko. And Ferrari tried to give it a good old fistful of throttle while he was coming across the chicane, but lost the rear end and lost out to Lorenzo Baldassarri. You have to say that's probably going to be the first of many podiums that we're going to see for the lanky Italian this year.
He was giving everyone else a fistful in that race for Matteo Ferrari, so I don't think him giving it a fistful on the exit of the chicane is a coincidence. Cassidy, well, he recovered then in the end up inside the top 7, but yeah, shout out of the day, I think Lorenzo Baldassarri, great ride.
Yeah, really strong stuff. Really strong stuff from Cassidy. He was in the mid 1:39s on that final lap. He was actually faster than the 2 lead riders, both Zacconi and Mantovani, and that was when he was in a bit of traffic overtaking Eric Granado on that last circuit just now. So you have to imagine, had it not been for that double long lap penalty, Cassidy certainly had the potential to come away with victory here. But as it was, Alessandro Zacconi winning the 2nd race. He won the 2nd race here 1 year ago as well. He does love this TT circuit, Assen, and he's propelled himself into the championship fight.
He really has, and that is a great old ride as well. Look, very good stuff from Lorenzo Baldassarri. It's his first podium. Al, who have you got for us down in pit lane?
Got Jürgen Ling, the team manager for the Dynavolt Intact MotoE team. Jürgen, a debut podium for Lorenzo. Talk us through that race, how you guys viewed it, and how Lorenzo has adapted to MotoE in your team.
Yeah, quite fast, as we can see. I mean, in the 2nd event already, podium is super nice, and we saw already in Le Mans that it was not. He liked the bike, and he said he have to understand some small things, which he did, and finally he have the podium. But it's super fast how he adapts. So we are impressed. We know he's a good rider, but anyway, first you have to do it, and congrats to all the team.
Congrats to you, and go enjoy the podium.
Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Thanks very much, Elliot. Thanks as well to Jürgen Ling, who's obviously having a great time this season in his Moto2 endeavours. Manny Gonzalez leading the championship there. It looks as though Lorenzo Baldassarri is going to give him something to shout about in the MotoE World Championship.
Don't forget David Munoz in Moto3, either now a Grand Prix winner. All happy smiles and faces down there. And behind that crash helmet, well, he loves a dance, but can we wait until he gets off the bike next time? And Joe Mantovani, what a weekend here in the Netherlands. It's been fantastic. Winner earlier, 2nd today.
Yeah, those moves were almost as impressive as the ones you were pulling yesterday afternoon, Kiko.
Thought you were going to say the moves he was pulling out on the track. A Strictly Come Dancing career does not await me, that is for sure. Nowhere near your fame, Neil Morrison. Alessandro Zacconi coming down into pit lane there, the number 61. Well, what a way to take your first victory of the season. Zacconi has been in fine form, really, and a bit unfortunate as well in Le Mans. He would be a lot higher up the championship, I think. But they're chasing this rider, Mantovani, a championship leader, and leading it very, very well, I've got to say. He looks natural at the front this year.
Yeah, he certainly does. Never really saw this kind of consistency or this speed from Mantovani last year. He did go off the boil somewhat in his first year riding for the Clint Forward team, but back again to his 2023 levels, and super fast in both these outings at the TT Circuit Assen. Did take him a little bit of time to come up to speed, didn't it? He was in Q1 yesterday, but from there put it second on the grid, won race 1 and second in race 2. Mantovani now with 3 podiums from 4 races in this year's MotoE World Championship.
Very, very strong stuff indeed. Likewise from Lorenzo Baldassarri. Great to see Balda coming back through. And there we have it. Matteo Ferrari and Cameron Zanoni, a shortcut at the final chicane. Long lap equivalent time, 3-second penalty. Well, for sure with Ferrari we knew it was coming. Zanoni it was slightly more debatable, but race direction issuing a penalty each.
Yeah. And Ferrari, I think he might have got 2 penalties, you know, Kiko, because he was what? He was 4th, right, coming over the line.
He was.
And he's dropped down now on our timing screens to 12th, and he's 9 seconds back rather than 3 seconds back. So I think he's copped 2 time penalties for the 2 times that he cut across the chicane. And I have to say that is in the rules, and it is something we were expecting.
We are not surprised to see Matteo Ferrari drop down. It's such a shame because he had a nightmare in Le Mans, didn't he? And now he's come here and he's been very, not unfortunate, I would say, in this race, in this second race, but he's not capitalised on what could have been here at Assen.
Yeah, 2 rather messy races for Matteo Ferrari, you feel. The opposite of this guy up front.
Chaos personified.
There is something to be said for just getting out and doing your own race up front, as Andrea Mantovani proved. And decent day for Italy, you would have to say.
Not bad at all, is it? Particularly if you look at that podium, 1, 2 and 3. That's how many Italian lockouts have we had? We'll have to get the old stat book out for that. Just a reminder, of course, Matteo Ferrari, him dropping all the way down. It does mean that Jordi Torres moves up, Hector Garzo in the top 5, Casadei coming back in the end to 6th place there, Granado, Spinelli, Hosjuk and Finello your top 10, but it's a rookie on the podium, Lorenzo Baldassarri down there talking to Al.
Lorenzo, congratulations, your first podium MotoE, a fantastic battle for it as well. Just describe how you're feeling after that.
Thank you. I moved the earrings, but I think I don't need with MotoE, but for the focus is good, it's not bad. Yeah, it was first podium thanks to the team. We all the race we improved, we learned a lot, all this practice. You know, just 1 month and a half not riding the bike. Friday morning was wet, so it was not easy, but we kept calm, working and improving every practice. So at the end, a great battle, and I'm very happy to be on the podium again.
Great job, congratulations.
Thank you.
Lorenzo Baldassarri taking P3 there, fine rookie podium for him. The number 7 up inside the top 3, Neil, and not a bad way to be leaving Assen.
Yeah, certainly not. Brilliant to see Baldassarri back in the Grand Prix podium. Brilliant to see this rider here, one of the more colourful figures in MotoE in Parc Fermé once again. Andrea Mantovani, second in race 2, and he's with L.
Andrea, you pushed for that victory the whole way. It was second place in the end, so close, but you must be super pleased with another podium today.
Today is a perfect day. In the second race, I don't have a good feeling in the front, especially the first and the second lap. And Casadei go. And I stay calm because I think Casadei will do a 2 long lap penalty. Overtake me Zach and immediately have a little gap for me. But okay, I finished my race, and this is very important. And incredible job. I love Olanda, and viva l'Italia. Ciao.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
He wasn't going to disappoint, was he, Neil? Andrea Mantovani, your championship leader by 13 points, heading to next time out in Austria.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to wait until after the summer break for the next round of MotoE. Then they start coming thick and fast. Austria, Hungary, Barcelona, Misano, all in 5 weeks, and then finishing off the year in Portimao. But there was one rider that beat Andrea Mantovani, and that was Alessandro Zacconi, and he's in Park Ferme with El.
Alessandro, what a ride from 6th on the grid to first. You said you had the pace in race 1, you proved it in race 2 and held off Andrea at the end as well. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Crazy weekend, because always saying race 1, yesterday we had many problems with the bike. Today we did a good race 1, and the target was try to win race 2. When I saw that I did a good start, I was able to overtake 1 or 2 riders in the first lap. I say, okay, I will win this race. Lap by lap, I tried to push a lot. I did the new racetrack lap, so I'm super happy. We saved the weekend. Yesterday I was really sad, because this is a track that I love. I'm always super fast, and starting P6 was not the target for the weekend. But obviously we saved the weekend. I have to say huge thanks to the team, because yesterday they did a crazy job in the night. And well, we enjoy. Now we have almost 2 months, but we will arrive in Austria super focused.
Great job, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Ciao.
Great to see Andrea Mantovani stealing the show as well in the background of Alessandro Zacconi's winners interview. But Zacconi, your 4th different winner in 4 races. We've got an interesting title race on our hands in MotoE this year, haven't we, Neil?
We most certainly do. Mantovani now 13 points clear off Zacconi in the championship, with Jordi Torres 20 points back off the summit in 4th. And Lorenzo Baldassarri, after a really solid opening, has managed to get himself up into 4th. You have to say, a member of the title fight.
I think we can say the top 6 as well. There's only a point behind with Casadei and Zanoni as well. Spinelli, got to be said, what would have happened if he didn't have to have that long lap penalty late on? He's there in 7th place. Hosjuk up there in 8th place. 9th and 10th, Gutierrez and Herrera. Now, Matteo Ferrari, a final chicane shortcut twice is the reason. So double long lap penalty. Of course, this is what we were saying earlier on in the show, is that that's why he finds himself down in 12th place. But confirmation now on your screens that Matteo Ferrari is well outside the top 10, and indeed that we're not incorrect. Up here it comes, Neil.
For once,
well,
Kiko. Yeah,
for the time being. This show isn't over yet.
Give us time, yeah. But yeah, we did mention at the time that I don't think, or we didn't think that he would be able to get away with that, and ultimately we were proved correct. A double long lap penalty, or the equivalent of that, given to Ferrari after the race, sees him lose 6 seconds, and yeah, drops from 4th down to 12th.
We are getting ready for an all-Italian podium, and if Andrea Mantovani replicates his podium celebrations from race 1, we're in for a treat here in race 2, because this is the first time that we get to see Lorenzo Baldassarri take to the podium as well. A rookie sensation, perhaps in the making, his first rostrum of 2025. Andrea Mantovani is your rider in P2, not P1, despite his massive grin across the top of his face. And then in the middle of those two, it will be Alessandro Zacconi, who timed it all pretty much to perfection, Neil. And I think while we're waxing lyrical about Baldassarri and Mantovani, let's shed a bit of light on Zacconi. It was a classy ride.
Yeah, it really was, and he said as soon as he got through the second, he knew that the race pretty much was his. Roberto Salvaro, Ducati MotoE analyst is handing out the trophies for 3rd to Lorenzo Baldassarri, 2nd to Andrea Mantovani.
Saves him breaking in this time.
Takes the lid off, unlike in race 1 where he had that land on his head.
He will probably fill that one up with Prosecco, I'm sure soon. That is Alessandro Zacconi, and of course, because he's Italian, we're going to get the Italian national anthem. Enjoy. the celebrations will begin, and that is the flowing of the Prosecco DOC. And Andrea Mantovani will definitely now need to go and wash his hair because he has been absolutely drenched as he once again celebrates that podium. He is your new championship leader in going to Austria. We have got a good old journey now and a good old wait until we are down there in Graz and Spielberg at the Red Bull Ring. But Neil, some final thoughts as we depart Assen's shores.
Well, we have a real title race on our hands with about 6 names. I think you mentioned, Kiko, all within 28 points of one another. It looks as though MotoE is going to provide another pretty epic championship fight. And 2 names that maybe were a little bit outsiders after round 1. Andrea Mantovani, Lorenzo Baldassarri, certainly putting their names in the mix for overall victory this time around.
And now everyone has to wait for the photo opportunity as Andrea Mantovani just sorts everything out, and now he enters the centre shot. But your championship leader on your left, your race winner on your right, and a rookie. And your race winner in the middle, and your rookie sensation for the year, Lorenzo Baldassarri, on the right. So we are about to go and have a look, I'm sure, at the full race results, and there's plenty of stories right the way through this second race here in MotoE at Assen. And then after we do that, we'll take you through the championship standings and I'm sure leave you with the highlights. Incredible things that Alessandro Zacconi has done. It's the first win of 2025 for him, just under 0.4 of a second ahead of Andrea Mantovani, who gave it his all both on and off the track. He is your championship leader. Lorenzo Baldassarri adds his name to the podium riders. Jordi Torres fighting back through for 4th ahead of Hector Garzo, your reigning world champion. The second page of results features Matteo Ferrari. That is because of a long lap penalty that was served once, that was issued once, and then another one issued for the sanction of cutting the chicane. It all comes down to that in the end. The standings, Andrea Mantovani, as we've said, leads by 13 points, but Alessandro Zacconi moves up 3 to go P2. Torres still 3rd. Baldassarri's podium propels him to P4, but 28 points covering your top 6. Nicolas Spinelli, long lap penalty for him in the end, leaves him down in 7th. Jacopo Hosjuk inside the top 8. Oscar Gutierrez absent in 9th, and we wish you well and hope to see you soon in Austria. Maria Herrera completing the top 10. MotoE, we'll be back in Austria. Myself, Kiko Giles and Neil Morrison will be back with you next time out in a couple of weeks in Germany for the rest of the MotoGP action. But that's the Sprint Saturday here at Assen, all done and dusted. Grand Prix Sunday awaits in the company of Jack Appleyard in pit lane, Lewis Sutherby up here in comms alongside Matt Burt. Enjoy the Motor Grand Prix of the Netherlands. Goodbye.